Hello students, I hope you understand in the last class problems. I explained the 3 problems related to the pyramids in different positions. We completed the pentagonal pyramid in simple position and a cone with the axis inclined to HP, or we completed in 3rd problem. In this class, I'm going to cover remaining pyramids in different positions with respect to VP or HP. This is the first problem in this class, problem number 4. Draw the projections of hexagonal pyramid with the side of the base 30 and axis 70 long, which is resting with a slant face on VP such that the axis is parallel to the HP. This is the 4th problem, in which the hexagonal pyramid having the 6 base edges, 6 triangular faces, and 6 slant edges with 1 apex. Isn't it? Pyramid is nothing but it's having 1 base and 1 apex. The base edge is 30 mm and axis 70 mm long, which is resting with a slant face. The slant face is triangular face on VP. The slant face must be touches with the VP such that the axis is parallel to the HP. So axis must be positioned with parallel to the HP. Clear? The slant face, whenever the slant face is given in the problem, that slant face must be drawn on the right side of the solid position in the first stage. Clear? In the first stage, the slant face is the slant face containing 1 base edge. That base edge must be on the right side of the solid in the initial stage. Okay. Whenever the slant face on VP, the axis makes an angle with VP itself. Yeah. Slant face vertical plane lo undi ante axis vertical plane ki inclined ga untu horizontal plane ki parallel ga undani represent chesharu. Okay, so axis is represented, axis must be inclined with VP. Whenever the axis is inclined to VP in the first stage or in the first position, the axis must be placed perpendicular to the vertical plane. Clear? So first of all, you have to analyze this problem. What is meant by a slant face? Slant faces are 6 for the hexagonal pyramid. Out of the 6 slant faces, 1 slant face is on VP. Whenever we place the slant face on VP, its axis makes an angle with VP itself. Okay. So the axis makes an angle with VP. In the first position, we should draw with the axis is perpendicular to VP. Clear? With axis perpendicular to the VP, you have to draw the first position of the projections. So whenever the axis perpendicular to the VP, you have to draw the front view first. You have to start the diagram with the front view, because when this axis is perpendicular to the VP, in the front view itself, the actual or true shape of the base is visible. Okay. The base is hexagonal shape. That hexagonal shape will be visible in the front view itself. Therefore, the front view, start the diagram with front view. Clear? Where should we draw the front view? The front view is always above XY line. As we know that from the starting onwards, the front view is above XY. Top view is below XY when that solid is in first quadrant. We are following the first angle projection from the plane chapter onwards. Isn't it? Lines chapter onwards, we are following the first angle projection. That means the object is assumed to be in first quadrant. Whenever the object is in first quadrant, The front view must be above XY line, that is the reference line, and top view is below the reference XY line. Here, in this problem, we should start with front view, that is above XY line, with slant faces. Whenever the slant faces represents in the problem, the slant face containing a base edge. Therefore, the base edge must be on the right side of the solid. Clear? In the hexagonal pyramid. Let us start the diagram. First, draw the XY line. Clear? Draw the XY line and draw a perpendicular to the XY line. On that perpendicular line, one of the base of the hexagonal must be placed. This is the one of the base edge of the hexagonal pyramid. Clear? This base edge, a dotted line length must be equal to 30 mm because the side of the base is 30 mm. This is one of the side. Okay. Based on this side, you have to construct a hexagon. How to construct an hexagon we learned in the polygons itself, construction of polygons itself. Draw two inclined lines which makes an angle of 120 with this initial base edge, this base side. This is the angle made by this inclined line with initial line is 120, and this is also angle made by this line with the initial line, that is the 120 degrees. This angle is 120. Clear? Then draw another two inclined lines which makes an angle of 120 again with the previous inclined lines. Clear? Like that, you have to draw the inclined line at this point and this point. After getting the 2 points, final 2 points, join these 2 points by vertical line. So these are the 6 sides of the hexagonal pyramid. Clear? These are the base sides are 6 and corners also 6, in which the slant face, that is the edge containing that slant face must be on the right side. This is the compulsory in solids. Okay, I'm started this diagram from the left side, but for hexagon, the sides are parallel to each other. In other cases, pentagonal cases, you have to draw the perpendicular line here and start with this line. Clear? So after getting the 6 corners, you have to locate the center point, that is the apex point, by joining the opposite corners. That opposite corner joining lines are intersecting somewhere else at the center of the hexagon. That center point is called the apex point. This is the hexagonal pyramid when we looking from the front side. If the axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane, this is the slant faces. This is the triangular face, one slant face. This is the slant face. Out of these 6 slant faces, one of the slant face is on the right side of the solid. It must be drawn on the right side of the solid like this. Okay. After getting the corners and apex point, locate and naming those corners and apex point. How to give the names? The corner, it is in first stage position. That is the first position. And also it is front view. That's why I am locating A1 dash is the one of the corner. A is the corners naming. One suffix 1 is represents for the first stage. Dash is for the front view. So like that, A1 dash, B1 dash, like that up to F1 dash, you have to give the naming for the corners. And apex O1 dash. O1 dash is the apex point. That is the center point of the hexagon here in the front view. Clear? So this hexagonal pyramid having the apex O1 dash and the length of the axis is 70 mm long. After getting these points, I draw the projection lines from each point. This is the side. Length is 30 mm given, one of the side. All the sides must be equal in the regular hexagonal pyramid. After getting the points in the front view, draw the projection lines. These are the projection lines. This is the front view. After getting the projection points, these points, naming that when we looking the solid from this side, the A1 dash is visible, F1 dash is invisible point. Those two are coincide with each other. In the top view, it is naming as A1 of F1 without dashes. And next point is B1 of E1. And next point is C1 of D1. These 2 points are coincides, and these 2 points are coincides of the base points. And apex point is somewhere else on the axis line at a distance of 70 mm from the base. Join these 3 points. It represents the base of the hexagonal pyramid. Clear? This is the base of the hexagonal pyramid. After getting the base, draw a straight line from the B1 of E1, which is also coming from the O1 dash, which is dark line, because B1 dash of B1 dash to O1 dash is the visible slant edge, that is the dark line. This dark line from the base must be a length of 70 mm. Clear? So this is the 70 mm. Next, locate the point as O1, that is apex point at a distance of 70 mm from the base. Clear? Then join that O1 with outer edges, that is outer points A1 of F1 and C1 of D1, like this with a dark pencil. We will get the pyramid in the top view. This is the hexagonal pyramid in the top view, in which this slant edges are visible. This is also slant edge, B1 dash of O1 dash, and B1 of E1 to O1 is the slant edge. These are visible, and remaining slant edges are invisible. What are those? O1 dash of F1 dash, O1 dash of D1 dash, O1 dash of O1 dash to E1 dash. These are invisible. That's why I'm locating those points in bracket. Clear? This slant edge is coincide with this slant edge. This slant edge is coincide with this slant edge, and this slant edge is coincide with this slant edge. Clear? So after getting the top view, this is the top view position when the axis is perpendicular to the VP. We are locating the base on the VP here. So next condition is given is that the resting with the slant face on VP. Here the slant face or slant edge is this. This edge represents this face, because this point having 2 points, this corner has 2 points, C1 of D1, that is this base edge. Along with this base edge, this is the slant edges combined with this called the slant face. This is a slant face. If this is slant face, looks like an edge here top view. This line must be on the XY line, because slant face on VP, when looking from the top side, this edge must be on XY line. So rotate this solid in such a way that the slant edge is on XY line. Clear? So locate any point C of D, that is C1 of D1 is become C of D. From that, you have to draw a line which is equal to length equal to this slant edge. The slant edge length is equal to this one, and locate this point as O. This point as O. This is a slant edge or slant face on the top view. After getting these 2 points, how to get the third corner, this point, taking this base length as a radius and C of D as a center, draw one arc like this, one arc, and its slant edge length as a radius, and take O as a center, cut that arc like this. We will get the third point of the solid, this point. This point is located as A of F. This point is A of F. Join this A of F with C of D and O. This is the rotating view of this solid. Here, and locate the center point, that is a B of E for this base, and join the center point to the apex point with a dark line like this. This is a rotating view of this top. In this case, the slant face is inclined to VP. In this case, the slant face, one of the slant face is on VP. Clear? When looking from the top side, the slant edge or slant face is on XY line. If the slant face is not VP, automatically the axis line makes an angle with XY line or VP, with VP. Clear? So after getting the top view point, second stage top view points, this is the top view in the second stage. Draw the projection lines from each point of the top view like this, from C of D, from B of E, from A of F, and from O. Draw the vertical projections, and also draw the horizontal projections from the initial front view. From A1 dash, C1 dash coincide with each other, and from B1 dash horizontal projection, and draw the projection from F1 dash, which is coincide with the D1 dash, and draw the another projection from E1 dash horizontal projections. Then we will there will be formed a grid here. So this is the front view position. How to get the front view points? By intersecting point, locate the intersecting point from the vertical projection and the horizontal projection. Locate the front view points. This is the projection line from the apex point. That is a O1 dash projection. Clear? Locate the points like this, A dash, because the line which is coming from the A, which is intersecting the A1 dash, that is located as A dash. And the B dash is the point of intersection between the B line and B1 line, B1 dash line. And C dash is the point of intersection between C line and C1 dash line. And D dash is the point of intersection from D line from D1 dash line. And E dash, this is the point of intersection between E line and E1 dash line. There's corresponding intersection points we have to locate. And F dash is similarly the point of intersection between F and F1 dash line. This is the F dash. And finally, we have to locate the apex point, that is point of intersection between O line and O1 dash line is the O dash. This is the point O dash. Clear? So after getting the front view points, join outer points first, like this. B dash O dash, E dash O dash, and B dash C dash, C dash D dash, D dash E dash. Like this, how to draw the outer points first. After joining the outer points, if the base is visible from this side, if we looking from this side, this solid, this top view side, the base is visible because the base is inclined towards this direction. When we're looking from this side, the total base is visible. That's why I am joining the remaining points with dark pencil or dark lines. Here, remaining points also dark because the base is visible from this side. Total base is visible. Okay, after getting the base in the front view, join the slant edges. Which slant edge is visible, which slant edge is invisible. Whenever the base is visible, the backside points joining with the O, that is the apex point, is invisible. That is CO is invisible, DO is invisible. That's why I'm joining C dash O dash is dotted line, D dash O dash is the dotted line. Remaining AO and FO are visible lines. That is A dash O dash line is dot line and F dash O dash is dot line. These are the dot lines. Okay. Invisible lines are these. These are the lines which are backside of the solid. These lines are backside of the solid. Therefore, these are invisible lines which is represented by dotted lines. Okay. These are the slant edges are invisible. These two slant edges are invisible. Remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 slant edges are visible. Clear? This is the position axis line. This is the axis line from the base center to the apex point. One long and short line. This is the axis line. This is the front view. Clear? Front view in the second stage. This is the final stage front view and final stage top view. After rotating the slant face with touches with the VP XY line. Clear? This is the fourth problem. I hope you understand this problem. Once again, go through this problem by viewing this video one by one, step by step. You have to draw in the drawing sheet or A4 sheet and practice this solids pyramids. Next problem, I'm going to give a homework problem to you. Problem number 5. Draw the projections of a pentagonal pyramid of side of the base is 40 and altitude. Altitude means axis length is 65. Base side is 40 and the axis is 65. Given pyramid is pentagonal pyramid, it's having the 5 sides, base sides and 5 corners, 5 slant edges and slant faces, 1 apex point. These are the details of the pentagonal pyramid. When one of its sloping edge is vertical. One of its sloping edge is vertical. Clear? Sloping edge is vertical. Let us start the diagram. Next problem, I want to give a homework problem to you. This problem I want to explain. Here, when one of its sloping edge is slant edge is vertical, but actually the sloping edge, when axis is perpendicular to HB, sloping edge is inclined to horizontal plane. So the sloping edges must be vertical. In first position, the sloping edge is inclined to horizontal plane, because vertical means it is a perpendicular to the horizontal plane. Sloping edge is perpendicular to the horizontal plane initially. Whenever the sloping edge is perpendicular to the horizontal plane, axis makes an angle, makes some angle with the horizontal plane. So whenever the axis makes an angle with the horizontal plane, you have to assume in the initial position, the axis is perpendicular to the horizontal plane itself. Clear? So whenever you place the axis perpendicular to the horizontal plane, in the top view, the true shape of the base, that is a pentagonal pyramid base, that is a pentagon, is visible in the top view. Whenever the axis is perpendicular to the HP, first position, in the first stage, you have to draw the top view first, because in the top view itself, the true shape is visible. Clear? So we should start with the top view. Top view is below XY line. So start the pentagon below XY line. Draw the XY line first. Clear? And draw a perpendicular line to the XY line and draw a base edge, pentagonal base edge of 40 mm side somewhere else, started somewhere else. Ekkada oka chota point తీసుకొని అక్కడ నుండి 40 mm distance లో ఒక point పెట్టుకొని join those 2 points with a dark pencil. This is the one of the side of the pentagon. Clear? ఇక్కడ స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ అన్నది స్లాంట్ ఎడ్జ్ అన్నది కాబట్టి దట్ స్లాంట్ ఎడ్జ్ కార్నర్ అనేది రైట్ సైడ్ వచ్చే విధంగా డ్రా చేస్తున్నాం. క్లియర్? దట్ ఈస్ ద కండిషన్ ఇన్ ద సాలిడ్స్. స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ అని రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తే ఆ స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ కి సంబంధించిన కార్నర్ ఆఫ్ ద బేస్ రైట్ సైడ్ లో ఉండాలి. అంటే వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎడ్జ్ ఈస్ ఆన్ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్, వన్ ఆఫ్ ద కార్నర్ ఆఫ్ ద పెంటాగన్ ఈస్ ఆన్ రైట్ సైడ్. సో బై యూజింగ్ దిస్ side, you have to construct a pentagon. These points are A1 and B1. First stage, top view points. Join 2 inclined lines. So draw 2 inclined lines, which makes an angle of 108, because angle between any 2 sides in the regular pentagon is 108 degrees. Like that, at A1, place the protractor at A1 and draw an inclined line, which makes an angle of 108 with this initial A1 B1 line. And place the protractor at point B1, join an inclined line which makes an angle of 108 degrees with this A1 B1. Clear? Draw these 2 lines with 108 degrees. And next, locate the protractor at these points. Locate the protractor at these 2 points, and draw an inclined line. That line makes an angle of 108 with this line, previous lines. Like that, you have to draw 2 lines at this point. Draw 2 inclined lines. These 2 lines makes an angle of 108 again with the previous lines. Those 2 lines intersecting somewhere else, we will get the 5th point of the pentagon. That is the one of the base corner it is. Clear? This must be on the right side of the solid. This corner must be on the right side of the solid. After getting the corners, naming those corners and locate the center point of the pentagon. How to locate the center point? I already explained in the pentagonal pyramid. Join the midpoint of the one of the side to the opposite corner. Any 2 midpoints. Those 2 lines are intersecting with each other. That intersecting points itself is the apex point at center of the pentagon. The apex point outundi or center of the pentagon outundi. Clear? The center of the pentagon is O1. And remaining points corners are E1, D1 and C1. C1, D1, E1 are the corners. After getting the corners, join this apex point with every corner with the dark lines. Because the slant edges are visible. Slant edges are visible when we're looking from top side of the solid, when the axis is perpendicular to the HP. Okay, this is the pentagonal pyramid when looking from the top side, top view, the first stage. The side length is 40 mm. Clear? Here, these are the slope edges. The slope edge is represented in the problem. Slope edges are 5, O1, A1, O1, B1, O1, C1, O1, D1, O1, E1 are the slope edges. One of these slope edges, these slope edges inclined to HP when looking in the front view. These slope edges are inclined to with each other. Clear? This slope edge must be vertical. The condition is given is that slope edge, one of the slope edge is vertical. Let us start drawing the projector lines. This is the top view. Projector lines, draw the projector lines from each point of the top view, and we will get the base points. These are the base points. This is the base. base of the pentagonal pyramid. Points are B1 and A1. These are coincide with each other because these are in the same line. When looking from this side, this corner is a visible corner and this corner is invisible corner. Okay, that's why I'm locating this front view point as B1 dash of A1 dash. Clear? And next point is, this point is C1 is visible, E1 is invisible. In the front view, you have to locate like this, C1 dash of E1 dash. E1 dash is the invisible corner. In the front view, you have to locate in the dashes with dashes. And this point is D1 dash, which is visible point. Okay, and join the axis line from the center point. This is center line, the apex point. Extend this line as an axis line to a distance of 65 mm from the base. From this base, length is 65. At 65 mm length, locate the apex point as O1 dash because it's the apex point in the front view in the first stage. Join this O1 dash with the A1 dash, B1 dash of A1 dash. This slope edge, that is the slant edge, is visible. Sloping edge is visible. Another sloping edge is C1 dash of E1 dash with O1 dash. This sloping edge is visible. And another sloping edge is D1 of O1 is visible. D1 dash of O1 dash is visible. These are the dark lines. Clear? And remaining two sloping edges are invisible. What are those? O1 E1, O1 A1 are invisible, but O1 A1 is coincide with the O1 B1, and O1 E1 is coincide with the O1 C1. If it is not coincide with the front lines, then we have to draw the dotted lines. But if we coincide outunnai kabatti, you need not to draw the dotted lines here. If you draw the dotted lines, it will be coincide with the dark line itself. Therefore, it is represented as dark line. Here, this is the top view. When the axis is perpendicular to the HP, the front view axis makes perpendicular to 90 degrees with XY line. In this position, this sloping edge, this is the sloping edge, this is the sloping edge. In the top view, this is the sloping edge in the front view. This sloping edge is inclined now in this position to the XY line, but sloping edge is vertical. It must be vertical. So in the next stage, this sloping edge must be rotated to vertical. That is the makes an angle of 90 with XY. That's why I am drawing a vertical line. This is a vertical line to the XY line. Locate this point as here D1 dash becomes D dash. In the next stage, we have to locate this point as D dash. From the D dash, draw a vertical line and draw a vertical line. This is a dark line up to a distance this equal to this distance. Take this length as distance from D dash and locate at the point O dash. The length D dash O dash is equal to D1 dash to O1 dash. Take this distance and project this distance. That is the transfer this distance onto this vertical line. After getting O dash and D dash, you have to locate the another corner of the base. How to locate this corner? Take this base a length as a radius and take this slant edge as a radius. Okay, take these 2 points as centers, draw 2 arcs. So this arc will be get when the O dash as center. This length as a radius, O1 dash to B1 dash of A1 dash, this length as a radius, take this length as a radius, take O center, draw 1 arc. And this base length as a radius, D dash as center, draw another arc. Clear? To draw these arcs, you have to take the base length as a radius, one side, another side is this slope edge is as a radius. Clear? So after getting the third corner, you have to locate this point as B dash of A dash. This B1 dash of A1 dash becomes B dash of A dash after rotating this solid such that the slant edge or slope edge is vertical. After getting this point, join this point with D dash and join that point with O dash. In this position, the slant face, that is whenever that slant slope edge is inclined, in the next position, the slope edge is vertical. So whenever the slope edge is vertical, the total solid will be rotates. Okay, the total solid will be rotates. And join the axis line by locating this point on the baseline. Join the axis line and draw the axis line and locate this point ఈ డిస్టెన్స్ మెజర్ చేసుకొని ఇక్కడ నుండి ఇక్కడ వరకు డిస్టెన్స్ మెజర్ చేసుకొని డి డాష్ నుండి అంతే డిస్టెన్స్ లో పాయింట్ లొకేట్ చేయండి. ఆ పాయింట్ ని సి డాష్ ఆఫ్ ఈ డాష్ గా లొకేట్ చేసి ఆ పాయింట్ ని ఓ డాష్ తో జాయిన్ చేయండి. దట్ ఈస్ ద డార్క్ లైన్. క్లియర్? హియర్ డార్క్ లైన్ ఇస్ దేర్, ఇస్ ద డార్క్ లైన్. అర్థమవుతుందా? యాక్సిస్ లైన్ ఎలా డ్రా చేయాలి? లొకేట్ దిస్ పాయింట్. ఈ డిస్టెన్స్ మెజర్ చేసుకోండి. డి డాష్ నుండి యాక్సిస్ పాయింట్ కి డిస్టెన్స్ మెజర్ చేసుకొని డి డాష్ నుండి అదే డిస్టెన్స్ లో ఒక పాయింట్ లొకేట్ చేసి ఆ పాయింట్ ని ఓ డాష్ తో జాయిన్ చేస్తూ ఒక యాక్సిస్ లైన్ డ్రా చేయండి. ఓకే, లైక్ దిస్ యూ హావ్ టు transform this solid into this position. Clear? In this case, the one of the slope edge is vertical here. We follow the condition given in the problem. That is the front view. After getting the points in the front view, draw the projection lines. From B dash of A dash, from the axis point, from the C dash of E dash, from the D dash, this line will be coincide with the O dash line projector. Okay, these 2 points are same vertical line. And draw the horizontal projection lines from the initial top view. These are the horizontal projections from each point. In this, O1 and D1 projector coincide with each other. After getting the points here, after getting the intersecting points, you have to naming them. How to naming? A is the point of intersection between A dash and A1. This is the A. And B is the point of intersection between B dash and B1. This B dash line coincide with the B1 line is point intersection is B. Like that, you have to give the naming. C is the point of intersection between C dash and C1 lines. And D, from this side, when we're looking from this side, O dash is visible, D dash is invisible because these are coincide with each other. Invisible point is in bracket, visible point is out of the bracket. O is invisible. So without dashes, you have to locate O of D in the top view. The line coming from the D dash and the line coming from the D1, which is coincide with the intersecting at this point, which is located as D in the bracket. Similarly, O point. Then E is the point of intersection between the E dash and E1 line. After getting all the points, base points and the apex point, join outer points first, AB, BC, CD, DE, and EA. It looks like a pentagon. Clear? So apex point is here. You have to join this apex point with all the corners. Which corners, which slant edges are visible here? A dash to O dash visible, B dash to O dash is visible. First of all, draw the AO and BO lines are solid lines. That is the dark lines. Clear? And EO and CO is also visible here. These are already dark lines. Clear? Only the invisible slant edge is this vertical line. This is coincide with the with each other. This vertical line looks like a point here when we're looking from the top side. Clear? This is the then draw the axis line. That is the base center point. This is the base center point and join with the apex point. This is the axis line. Clear? Here the axis makes an angle of something, some angle with XY line or with the HP. Because slope edge is perpendicular to HB. Whenever the slope edge is perpendicular to HB, axis makes an angle with HB itself. That's why we in the initial position, the axis is perpendicular. Assume the axis is perpendicular to the HB. Yeah, this is the top view. So one of the slope edge is vertical and our slope edge ni first right hand side lo draw cheskuntam. This is slope edge on right hand side. ఆ స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ ఇంక్లైన్డ్ గా ఉంటుంది ఇనిషియల్ గా. సెకండ్ స్టేజ్ లో ఆ స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ ని వర్టికల్ గా డ్రా చేసుకుని సాలిడ్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేస్తాం. ఆ వచ్చిన సాలిడ్ ని అంటే ఫ్రంట్ వ్యూ ని ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటే మనకి ఫైనల్ టాప్ వ్యూ వచ్చేస్తుంది ఆఫ్టర్ రొటేటింగ్. స్లోప్ ఎడ్జ్ వర్టికల్ గా ఉన్నప్పుడు ద ఫైనల్ టాప్ వ్యూ వి విల్ గెట్. క్లియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్? టేక్ దిస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ 6 as a homework. It is also pentagonal pyramid of 40 and 65 itself. When its triangular faces is perpendicular here. In previous case, slope edge is perpendicular. Here the triangular faces is perpendicular. That means you have to draw the triangular face on the right side. So you have to start the diagram from the right side itself. So one of the base edges on right side. Start the pentagon with the right side as one of the base edge. And one of the triangular faces is perpendicular means triangular face is inclined to, that is the axis is inclined to HP. one of the triangular faces is perpendicular to HP means whenever the triangular face is perpendicular, the axis makes an angle with HP. So angle HP to inclined ga ichchadu kabatti initial position lo axis perpendicular to HP అని assume చేసుకొని initial position draw చేయండి ఇందాక చేసిన విధంగా. But you have to draw. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేశామంటే ఈ సైడ్ ని లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ సో వచ్చేటట్టు డ్రా చేశాం. ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాబ్లం దిస్ సైడ్ మస్ట్ బి ఆన్ ద రైట్ సైడ్. ఓకే, ఈ రైట్ సైడ్ లో ఉండాలి. ఇక్కడ ఈ ట్రయాంగులర్ ఫేస్ అనేది ఇక్కడ స్లాంట్ ఫేస్ అనేది ఇటువైపు రావాలి. ఈ స్లాంట్ ఫేస్ నెక్స్ట్ స్టేజ్ లో వర్టికల్ గా ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, try this problem, sixth problem, and I will go for the seventh problem. This is the last problem in the pyramids topic, projection of pyramids and core. There is a projection of solids too. Next class I will go for fifth unit. A square pyramid of side of the base 40. Square pyramid ichcharu ikkada. Square ante 4 sides, pyramid ante one apex point untundi, one base untundi, 4 slant edges untai, 4 slant faces untai. Okay, ఇవన్నీ మీరు డీటెయిల్స్ తెలుసుకోవాలి ఫస్ట్ ఇచ్చిన సాలిడ్ బట్టి. సో దట్ స్క్వేర్ పిరమిడ్ side of the base 40 and axis 60 long is resting on an edge of the base on HP. Edge is mentioned in the problem. Whenever the edge is mentioned in the problem, that edge must be located on the HP. So edge of the base is on HP. Draw the projections of the solid when its axis is 45 degrees with VP and the base is near to the VP. Axis vertical plane ki inclined ga untu ఒక బేస్ అనేది దాని బేస్ అనేది సాలిడ్ బేస్ అనేది వర్టికల్ ప్లేన్ కి నియరర్ గా ఉండాలి. అంటే ఎపెక్స్ పాయింట్ ఫార్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ ద వర్టికల్ ప్లేన్. సో యాక్సిస్ ఇంక్లైన్ టు VP ఇచ్చారు ఇక్కడ. Axis makes an angle of 45 degrees with VP. So in the initial position, you have to assume that given axis, the solid axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane. Assume the axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane in the initial position. In the second position, you have to rotate that axis, which makes an angle of 45 with vertical plane. Okay? Ela draw cheyali. Axis perpendicular to VP and assume cheskoni draw cheyali. Whenever the axis is perpendicular to the VP, vertical plane ki perpendicular ga unte, front view is you have to draw the front view first, because in the front view itself, the true shape, that's a square base, is visible. Okay? Axis perpendicular to VP unte front view to start cheyali. Axis perpendicular to HP unte top view to start cheyali. ఇక్కడ perpendicular to VP assume చేసుకుంటున్నాం కాబట్టి ఫ్రంట్ వ్యూ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి. ఎందుకు assume చేసుకుంటున్నాం perpendicular? ఆ వర్టికల్ ప్లేన్ కే ఇంక్లైన్డ్ గా ఇచ్చారు యాక్సిస్. సో ఇన్ ద ఇనిషియల్ పొజిషన్ ఆ వర్టికల్ ఇచ్చిన ప్లేన్ కే పర్పెండిక్యులర్ గా assume చేసుకుని డ్రా చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. క్లియర్? సో ఫస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డ్రా ద స్క్వేర్ in the front view. The front view is above XY line. Clear? While drawing the square, that is the front view, you have to maintain the edge of the base on HP. The edge of the base XY line మీద ఉండే విధంగా draw చేయండి. Okay? First draw the XY line. This is the XY line మీద ఒక edge of the base ఉండేట్టు draw చేయండి. This is the one of the edge of the square base. Based on this edge, construct a square. This is the front view corners A1 dash and B1 dash, first stage front view corners, and draw two perpendicular lines to this baseline, initial line, and this length of the perpendicular lines also 40 mm. This initial length of the line is also 40 mm, square side. And join those points are C1 dash and E1 dash. Join those 2 points with horizontal line. This is the square with one of the base edges on XY. Clear? One of the base edges on HP means front view lo one of the base edges on XY draw chesukovali. Clear? So locate the center point and draw corners with the center point of X point. Simply join the opposite corners of the square, that is the diagonals which intersecting somewhere else. It is called the apex point. Apex point is O1 dash. This is the square pyramid when looking from the front side if its axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane. Okay? Side of the base is 40 mm is given in the problem. and this is the front view. Draw the projection lines. Each point on the projection line draw చేసుకోండి and baseline draw చేయండి. ఈ baseline ఎంతో కొంత distance లో, because the baseline is not given. It is base is nearer to VP. That base is nearer to VP అని చెప్పాడు కానీ ఎంత distance అని ఇవ్వలేదు. That's why I am somewhere else. I am drawing a baseline that is a horizontal to XY line. Locate the base points as when looking at the solid from this side. D1 dash is a visible point, A1 dash is invisible. That's why I'm locating on the top view D1 of A1, and this point is C1 of B1. C1 of B1. And extend the center line, extend this center line to a distance of 60, because axis length is given as 60. Center line to extend up to 60 mm length. This is 60 mm from the base. Okay. And locate this point as O1. This apex point as O1. Join this O1 with these base points with the dark lines. So it looks like a triangle in the top view. Square pyramid looks like a triangle in the top view. Only one slant face. This slant face is visible. Remaining, these two slant faces are invisible, which is coincide with these lines, and this slant face is coincide with the slant face. Only one slant face is visible from the top side, D1 dash, O1 dash, C1 dash. O1, D1, C1 is visible, remaining are invisible. But with those slant faces are coincide with somewhere else. Okay. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇది పైనుండి చూసినప్పుడు ఓన్లీ ఈ స్లాంట్ ఫేస్ మాత్రమే విజిబుల్ కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ టాప్ వ్యూలో మనకి ట్రయాంగిల్ షేప్ కనబడుతుంది. ఓకే. ఆఫ్టర్ గెటింగ్ ద పాయింట్స్, దీస్ పాయింట్స్ టాప్ వ్యూ పాయింట్స్, దిస్ ద టాప్ వ్యూ. ఇక్కడ ఏమి ఇచ్చారు? యాక్సిస్ ఇక్కడ ఏ పొజిషన్ లో ఉంది? పర్పెండిక్యులర్ టు XY ఉంది. బట్ గివెన్ పొజిషన్ ఈజ్ యాక్సిస్ మేక్స్ an angle of 45 with VP. So you have to rotate this axis a 45 degrees line. Draw a 45 degrees line by locating any point on the XY line. From that point, draw a 45 degrees line. This is 45. Clear? On that 45 degrees line, draw a perpendicular to that 45 degrees line, because the base is perpendicular to the axis line. If this line is assumed as an axis line, draw a perpendicular line to that axis line, which represents the base. One point is the D of A, D1 of A1 in the first stage, it becomes D of A in the second stage, and C of B is the next point on the base, it is in the second stage. And draw a axis line. This is the axis line. Locate the point O. This distance from the base is equal to the 60. Okay. Join this O with B of A, D of A, and C of B. So like this, you have to transform this solid in this position, which makes the axis makes an angle of 45 degrees with XY. Clear? So after rotating, this is the top view. Draw the projection lines from each point on the top view, from C of D, from D of A, and from base center. And draw the horizontal projections from the initial front view. These are horizontal projections, and this XY line is one of the horizontal projection, which a line drawn from the A1 dash and B1 dash. And locate the points, base points, and apex point in the front view. There is the A dash, is the point of intersection between A line and A1 dash line, and B dash is the point of intersection between B line and B1 dash line, and C dash is the point of intersection between C line and C1 dash line, and D dash is the point of intersection between the D line and D1 dash line, and O dash is the point of intersection between O line and O1 dash line. Like that, you have to locate the corresponding points in the front view. Okay, first join the outer points A dash, D dash, D dash, C dash, C dash, O dash, B dash, and A dash, B dash. Like that, you have to draw the outer lines first with the dark pencil. Join all the points, outer points with the dark pencil. Clear? Then, what about the base? Next goes to the preference to the base. When looking from this side, this solid, the base is invisible. Clear? So base is in this position, the base is invisible. AB side is visible, remaining side, this is the CB side is invisible. That's why I'm joining the C dash, B dash is the dotted line. And slant edges, AO and DO are visible edges. AO and A dash O, D dash O are visible slant edges, which are dark line. Okay, already we drawn the C dash O, D dash O, which are outer side, and the invisible line is C dash, B dash, B dash, C dash is the invisible line. Clear? Because it is away from the observer, which is nearer to the XY line. This is the invisible line. In this position, this invisible line, this is the C dash, D dash is the base edge, which is backside of the solid. That's why it is invisible. Clear? This is the square pyramid front view. Draw the axis line from the base center to the apex line. This is the axis line, one long and short line. The front view. I hope you understand this problem. With axis makes an angle of 45 degrees with vertical plane. Initially, the axis must be perpendicular to XY line. So whenever the axis is perpendicular to XY line, that is perpendicular to VP, the front view, we have to draw the front view first. From that front view, you have to project the points. We will get the top view. This is the first. You have to draw చేయాల్సిన first front view draw చేయాలి. Then top view వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఈ top view rotate చేయాలి. Rotate చేసిన తర్వాత final front view వచ్చేస్తుంది. Clear? Like this, you have to construct the projection of pyramids. So this is the last problem in the projection of solids 2. ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీరు డ్రాయింగ్ షీట్ లో డ్రా చేయండి. నేను చెప్పిన ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ప్రొజెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ సాలిడ్స్ 1, ప్రొజెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ సాలిడ్స్ 2, ప్రొజెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ప్లేన్స్ 2, ఇవన్నీ కూడా నేను ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ లో చెప్పాను. ఇవన్నీ షీట్ లో డ్రా చేయండి. ఓకేనా? నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ I will start the 5th unit, orthographic projections or orthographic views, conversion of isometric views to orthographic views. I'm closing this class at this time. Bye. Have a nice day.